Facebook family. Facebook Live, Elevate, episode 85. Reset, reset. I hope you guys are. Hey, how you doing, Ann? Good to see you on. Uh, Definitely wanted to. I don't. I'm in the hotel again. This is kind of like my Wednesday ritual now. Don't have Shara with me, so I think she's at a soccer game. Hopefully, she'll be able to chime in here and there. But Facebook Live reset episode 85. Episode 85. Cannot believe it is episode 85. So very excited about today's topic. I'm deliberating how I should go about it. Yeah, I see you, Shar. Appreciate you chiming in at the soccer game. You got to show me how to get those little soccer little icons you got on there. Shea Bay Cuisine, good to see you. Good to see you. Um, but like we say, this is the fastest 30 minutes of social media. I wanted to make sure I hit some topics real quick. First, I want to do the housekeeping, just in case you don't know who I am, Curtis Carr. Hopefully, you will watch this video and replay. But I'm Curtis Carr. I'm the founder of Elevate. Elevate is a leadership program. This acronym: expectations, leadership, ethics, vision, attitude, temperaments, and effectiveness. How you doing, Ms. Karen? Good to see you. Elevate, what we do is we do coaching. We coach teams, we coach individuals. And what we try to do is make sure that the person is making progress. And coaches, I mean, one day I'm going to do a Facebook Live on coaches. But at the end of the day, very important role. I have a coach in my life. I'm in Stegan Leadership Training. It's a program out of Dallas. It's been around for, I want to say, golly, I don't want to, man, I think it's 60, 70 years. Hey, Mom and Dad, good to see you on. But I have a coach. We believe in it. And I'm not talking about my supervisor. No, I have a coach outside of that. So at the end of the day, one day we will do a Facebook Live on coaching. But Shar is also a partner in this with me. Shar is a business analyst, and she also is a project manager. She has her own business. Hey, Mr. Roundtree, good to see you. Good to see you. But she has her own business called Cupcake and a Smile. And that business has been around for a while now. I want to say 8 or 9 years, maybe. You know, it's been a while. I know I've seen, in the few years me and Shar have been married, I've seen thousands of cupcakes. I've seen more cupcakes than I ever wanted to see. That's all I can say. So at the end of the day, the business is a solid business, great cupcakes. I haven't found anybody that did not like them. Hey, Tamika, it's good to see you on. So I wanted to give a shout out to the Final Four. You know, so you got UConn, Miami, San Diego State, Florida Atlantic. Man, I don't think I've ever seen teams like this. You know, UConn and Miami, okay. But even UConn and Miami are not known to be like, you know, perennial powers in the college basketball world. San Diego State and Florida Atlantic. I haven't been paying attention to sports in the last 2 years, 2.5 years. But when I saw this, I was like, wow, things have really changed. You don't have any real blue blood schools that are in this championship. So hey, it's gonna be something to see. And but I'm gonna go to the jokes. The jokes. Hopefully these hey, Mother Brenda, it's good to see you on. So hopefully these jokes, and I really like these. So I'm gonna start off with the first one. What do you call old berries? What do you call old berries? I wish I had that little da 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 da. You call them elderberries. Elderberries. That's what you call them. You call them elderberries. When you call old berries, you call them elderberries. All right. Number 2. Santa found which deer on the North Pole? Oh, I got to groan. Oh, I better step up my game. Santa found which deer on the North Pole? It's hard. Dancer. That's who Santa found on the North Pole. Dancer. You get it? I'm sorry. I thought that was funny. I don't have Char to look to see any kind of response here, but man, I thought that was funny. And the last one, what did the sweet potato say after graduation? I got a cute. I'll take a cute. I'll take that. What did the sweet potato say after graduation? Dancer. Okay. She said, Tamika said, dancer question mark. You don't get it? North Pole dancer, pole dancer. Uh, Mr. Roundtree said how sweet it is. He said that's what the sweet potato said after graduation. That's a good one. He says, I think, therefore I am. I think, therefore I am. So those are the three jokes. I thought they were phenomenal. I will save this list. I will save it. I will save it. So, I get any comments? Maybe everybody just. I think Ann liked that one. I think Ann liked that one. I take one. Yes, I take it. So today we're talking about. I'm late. Pole dancer. Okay. So anyway, today's topic is reset, 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 reset. And this is one of those topics. This is Yam You. My dad put on there Yam You. But this is one of those topics where you're like, man, I just want to be able to communicate this right. I hope I can stress the points that need to be stressed. I hope I can pause when I need to pause. I hope my examples are good enough to connect. But this right here, reset, is a powerful one because, you hear about stuff about failing. You hear about stuff about keep getting up and keep trying. And it kind of falls along with that. Reset, and of course it means to set, adjust, or fix in a new or different way. What I mean by reset is if you're stuck, if you're hitting a wall, you must reset. If there's somewhere where you just keep hitting and you can't get past, you have these goals and you just can't get there. You have these dreams and you just can't get there. Reset. That's what I'm meaning by reset. Reset. Stop. Let's start this thing again, right? I didn't want to give you a bunch of examples of people failing because we hear this all the time. We always hear about the person that was sleeping in their car and now they're worth 300, 400 million. It's almost like you hear it all the time now. But at the end of the day, we have to reset. And when, my question to you is, do you see growth in your finances? If not, reset. Do you see growth in your relationships? And I'm not saying that you have to have 500 of them. Of the quality of the relationship. Reset. Do you see growth in your health? Reset. And all of us have these challenges all the time. And you have to be a master at resetting. And I would ask this, and share if you want, and I'll give you a few minutes. And while you're typing it in, I will share some things. But in what areas do you feel like you need to reset? In what areas do you feel like you need to reset? Is it family? Is it finances? Is it relationships? Chandel said, I'm resetting my health. I know for me, that's the biggest one, right? I need to reset. This is probably one of the bigger challenges now, just because, you can get caught up in the stress and the challenges of the job. And then somewhere you got to pull strength from, and then you pull away. Shara make fun of me. She's like, you just changed. When we were dating, you were doing push-ups and jump rope and sit-ups, and you had some guns. Now I got a noodle. I don't have the guns. Hey, Aunt Stephanie, it's good to see you. I don't have the gun. I got a little bit of a gun there. I see a little bit there. I still got a little something there. But, she's like, you changed. I didn't change. I'm dealing with the responsibilities I have, and something had to give. That's what happened. So what I have to do is I have to reset. So 8 months ago, it was my love life. She said she had to reset her love life 8 months ago. Shar said she had to reset her health, But at the end of the day, it's so important that we just don't keep going, right? And keep being unhappy and keep knowing that thing is sitting there behind us and we're not changing anything. So reset. Now, one thing I want to also say, why is it important to reset? Because if you're not reset, you're not growing. And that should be enough. If not growing is good with you, then that's a big problem all by itself. There's no growth without continual resetting. If you can count the times you reset, you have not reset enough. Resetting is a lifestyle. You know, I love the analogy with baseball because it's the most picturesque. It's the most visual uh, example for baseball. Mr. Roundtree said, "By itself, reset and have a better walk with Christ." That's a good one. Uh, Repentance and keep it coming. Get back up. Uh, but reset is definitely you can never have it. You have to be an expert at resetting. We have to keep doing it over and over and over again. I like the analogy with baseball. I love the analogy with baseball because in baseball, if you only fail 7 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, if you only fail at bat 7 out of 10 times, you're hitting 3 out of 10, you're a Hall of Famer in baseball. Those guys have to reset. They got to shake themselves, get themselves back up, go to practice, keep it moving. And I believe resetting is one of the biggest challenges we have, right? Especially in a culture where we want to make sure that everybody thinks we're okay, right? So one thing that I wanted to share today, and it's 7:12, it's a little early. It's 7:12. I want to talk about how do you reset. There's a way to reset. And the first thing, and this is one of my favorite ones, the first thing is to realize the truth. And I'm not going to sit there and, I know we've been dealing with self-deception and all that kind of stuff, but I'm talking about realize the truth. And the truth is, whatever it is, you must own it. That's the truth. Example, let's say if you had an alcoholic father who raised you, at this point, you got to own it. It doesn't, what are you going to do? If your family's poor, at this point, you got to own it. If you're handicapped, if you're disfigured, if you've been maimed, whatever it is, if the struggle's academic, whatever it is, you have to own it. And I guess because of what I do, and maybe this is my own personal issue, I get so tired of victims. That's why I love that video we played with the guy that was crippled. He was crippled. He was in a wheelchair, but he exuded such strength and power. I love guys like that because it's like, man, if anybody has an excuse, you would think they do, but no, he's walking around exuding strength and power. So the first one is you gotta realize the truth, and the truth is that whatever your issue is, you gotta own it. If you haven't been reading, start reading. Just own it, right? If you haven't been eating right and you're trying to get physically fit, just own it. My wife don't know it, but 3 days straight, I've been doing my push-ups. That's probably why I got that, I got that little bit of gun right there. But 3 days straight, I've been doing my push-ups. I had to reset. I love this quote by Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy has a book called No Excuses. It's an awesome book. But he says, thoughts are causes and conditions are effects. Thoughts are causes and conditions are effects. And there's this story, and I always quote it. I know you guys are probably tired of me saying this story. And maybe I haven't. I know I share it a lot at work. Maybe I haven't shared it on this platform. But there's a Facebook story of two brothers. And the two brothers, one is broke, struggling in life. He's an addict. The other one's successful, has a career in business. He's loving life. And they asked one brother, they said, well, why are you the way you are? And the one brother that was successful said, oh, look, I got kudos from my wife for my push-ups. I didn't tell you how many I did. I just said I do push-ups. So anyway, they asked the guy who's successful, why are you the way you are? And he said, because my father was an alcoholic. He said, that's what he said. He said, my father was an alcoholic. So they go over to the guy that's addicted to drugs and struggling and having a hard time making it. He's in poverty. They said, why are you the way you are? And he said, because my dad's an alcoholic. Same reason, two brothers, one on one spectrum, one on the other. Thoughts are causes and conditions are effects. So some kind of way in that brain, one was processing it way different than the other brother was processing it. So that's that whole mentality is just so powerful to me. So how do you reset? The first thing you do is realize the truth. 1B, And this is the one that, and you got to remember, guys, I've been going through this stuff in Victoria. I've been having a hard time. We are training, firing, hiring, training, firing, hiring, bringing them in, bringing them out, people quitting, all kind of stuff going on. And it's not even a high volume store. It's just a different mentality out here. So I've been struggling with this store, but we're getting traction. It ain't like this though. It's more like this. We kind of going maybe like this. We're going up a little bit. But the second thing is, I think we got to stop acting like problems are a surprise. I mean, golly, we've been dealing with problems ever since we've been alive. Whether when you're little and you're hungry, you don't know how to communicate it, so you cry, or when you lose a tooth, or whatever it is, all the way up to teenage years when somebody talks about you, or when you're little, somebody talks about you, you're trying to get over it. We've been dealing with problems a long time, and we still act like problems are a surprise. I like what Kant said. He's a philosopher. He said, life is a continuous succession of problems. Life is a continuous succession of problems, like waves from the ocean. They never stop. And man, I have never went to the beach and looked at the ocean and waves weren't coming. They just keep coming and coming and coming. And when Khan said that, I said, man, that's the best analogy I think I've heard. Life is a continuous succession of problems like waves from the ocean. They never stop. So tell me if you agree with that or you think it's too extreme. And then type of one, if you have some problems. I mean, I can tell you right now, I got problems. If you think you got some things that are going on, or it's just perfect? Is life just perfect for you? If it is, hey, awesome. Awesome. I need to come shake your hand. But I know Shar has problems. I know I got problems. I know the people I know that I'm close to, all of them got problems. So we got to stop acting like these problems are a surprise. And then this is the one I really like. Ann put a one down. Thank you, Ann. Ann put a one down. They even have studies that say that every 5 to 7 years, you're going to have some kind of emergency that's going to cost you $3,000 to $5,000. They'll script it. They'll say, listen, every 5 to 7 years, there's going to be some kind of emergency in your life that's going to cost you $3,000 to $5,000. So you might as well start saving the money because it's getting ready to happen. You know. Number two, and this is the one this is probably my favorite one. And this one is encourage yourself. If you want to reset, the first thing you have to do is realize the truth. And that means that you need to own whatever your situation is. Number two is encourage yourself. And I definitely believe this is one of our top 5 challenges in our society, in our homes. Many of us don't know how to encourage ourselves. I mean, it's just a reality. I mean, I see it all the time. Not only do we not know how to encourage ourselves, a lot of us don't know how to teach our kids and our loved ones how to encourage themselves. And the ones that do it, I think they take it for granted. But that is a powerful, powerful ability to be able to encourage yourself. And what I mean by encourage yourself, that means you can give support, confidence, or hope to yourself. You're not looking to other people to encourage you. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Some people look for liquor for encouragement, and nothing wrong with liquor. But I'm saying sometimes you got to be able to encourage yourself. Some people look for the right environment, being with the so-called right people to encourage themselves. Some people use illegal drugs. Some people use illegal drugs that should be illegal. But either way, they don't know how to encourage themselves. And it's powerful. It's a powerful thing to be able to encourage yourself. And I don't know where I would be if I didn't learn how to encourage myself. I'm assuming my parents taught me because I don't remember learning it. I just know that there's times in my life where I couldn't lean on anybody and I had to encourage myself. And then certain things happened as I grew up and I was leaning on certain people. I wanted to share this one story, and I think it's very powerful, and many of you guys probably know it, but there was a story about a king, and this king wasn't actually king yet. He was told he was going to be a king, but he was on the run. And he had some men with him. He had a lot of men with him. And those men went to go take care of something in one city. And when they went to go take care of some things in this one city, they left their family, their wives and their kids in this other city. So when they leave their wives and kids in this other city, a group of bandits come and they attack the city where their kids are and their wives, and they basically kidnapped them, took them, and then ran off. And they were just going from city to city, plundering cities. So these guys get back and they see that all their kids and their family is gone. All their property, everything is gone. And the guy who they looked at as a leader, they start looking at him and saying, you know what? We're going to kill this dude. We're going to kill this dude. This dude that led us the wrong way. And then they were so hurt. They said all they did was cry and weep and groan, all these men, because their families were gone. It's a powerful story. It's a powerful story. But the next thing that king did, that future king did, is that he encouraged himself. Because who was he going to get encouragement from? The people wanted to kill him. But it said he encouraged himself. He kept himself composed. And then he led those men, the same men that wanted to kill him. He led those men, found the people that kidnapped his families and their families, and got their families back, and some, got a whole bunch back. And this guy is a large reason why he became the future king. So, but the point of the story is that he encouraged himself. Me and Shar, we read that story last night. It's a powerful story. In a seminar setting, we would describe how you go about encourage yourself in more detail, but we just don't have the time. It's 7:22. Number 3 is speak to a coach or mentor. That's the third step. Speak to a coach or mentor. And, I think of this, and I got on my notes here that to give some examples, but I really just I think that when you speak to a coach or mentor, I believe we would get so much further ahead if we just took 2 things away that we know are true. Forget the questionable stuff, the stuff you're like, I don't know. Take 2 things away and practice those 2 things and run with them. And I believe that you would really benefit when you speak to that coach or mentor. Like I said, I have a coach. Shar has a coach. I don't know if she uses her as much anymore, but there was a lady that both of us had. I have a different coach now, but Shar put on here, speak over yourself, encourage yourself in the Lord, listen to the inspiring song. Okay, she pushing songs. Got you. All right, Shar. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to encourage yourself. And then 3rd, speak to a coach or mentor. And then 4, which is engage in continual learning. Engage in continual learning. Now, this right here, I expect you guys maybe not to believe this. Now, I believe what I'm getting ready to read wholeheartedly, and I explain why. I believe it. I believe it. So I'm going to give you an example. On this part right here, I need a little time. So engage in continual learning. So I want to talk about the Peter Principle. Please put a 1 down if you heard of the Peter Principle. It's called the Peter Principle. I'm going to give you a little time. Chime in. Hopefully you didn't run off. Ann Boykin, she heard of the Peter Principle. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. Peter Principle. Anybody else has heard of the Peter Principle? So the Peter Principle comes from this guy in the 60s who wrote a book. His name was Dr. Lawrence Peter. He wrote a book called The Peter Principle. And he said that every organization, people continue to be promoted until they reach a level where they are no longer competent to solve the problems at that level. This is where they stop and stay for the rest of their careers. That's harsh. That's really harsh. I'll read it again. In the 60s, Dr. Lawrence Peter wrote a book called The Peter Principle. He said every organization, people continue to be promoted until they reach a level where they're no longer competent to solve the problems at that level. This is where they stop and stay for the rest of their career. Furthermore, he pointed out that for this reason, every organization is eventually staffed by people who have reached their level of incompetence. He stated that this is especially true in government and usually true in any large bureaucracy. That's a big statement. So let me give you an example. You say, okay, what do you mean by the Peter Principle? Okay, let's use the Peter Principle in a restaurant situation. I know it's 7:25, but bear with me, guys. Individuals are hired to work entry-level positions such as a front counter, drive-through, or grill. Someone who excels at one of these positions because they are good at customer service or simply have a strong work ethic might eventually be singled out and promoted to shift supervisor, even if they have no leadership experience or relevant skills, right? Now, some of these individuals will remain at shift supervisor positions, probably struggling to succeed because they don't have the skills or knowledge to do the job properly. Meanwhile, those shift supervisors who are able to perform well may eventually move up to store management positions. Eventually, says the Peter Principle, all shift supervisor positions will be held by those who aren't competent, and this same story will play out at higher levels. So basically, he's saying that you just keep getting promoted because you're doing good, but eventually you'll max out. And because you actually did well at those other areas, you just kind of max out and you're really not competent for that position. But that's where you max, the Peter Principle. And I'm going to tell you, I know it sounds bad. But in general, I believe in this principle wholeheartedly. And I believe this just because most of the time, when you look at a promotion, when people get promoted, okay, let them say, what is the Peter Principle? The Peter Principle is an observation of the tendency of most organizations. All right, so my wife did some work there. So, but I believe this so heartily because just over the years, when a person gets promoted, they think they're there. That's the real problem. So they don't continue to grow. Well, I got promoted. I must have all it takes. That's kind of like the mentality. Oh, I got promoted, so I must have all the skills I need. Well, I got promoted, so I'm just exactly what they're looking for. No, you're the best available. That's what happened. You were the best available. And they're hoping they can coach and train and teach you to be what they're looking for. That's really the truth. But no, we look at it like, they shoot, I'm the man, I'm the lady, I'm the person that I need to be. So that's number one reason why I believe, because people come into the position not to grow, but to think they're already there. The number two reason I believe this is just because the fact that they think that way, and then because in general, people don't continue to learn. So I swept over it, right? I said engage in continual learning. Kind of told a story. Here we are at the Peter Principle. But people, they say the average person's vocabulary stops at 24. Well, why would it stop at 24? People are dying at 70 something, right? 77, 75. Okay. Why? Because people stop trying to learn. They feel like they're at a point where they're already there. So at the end of the day, that's why I believe in the Peter Principle. I think it's a powerful concept. And of course, it's not an absolute, but I definitely think it's a good principle. All right. So I don't want to belabor that too much, but I thought it was worth mentioning. And then notice, try a new plan. That's the last thing. Be fully committed with a predetermined trial date, so you continue to go back and then go back and keep trying this thing. Come up with a plan. If it doesn't work, do it again. Do it again. Keep resetting. There's nothing wrong with it. Just keep resetting. In other words, the other option is just to fail and then criticize or get stuck and think everybody's jacked up. I mean, you don't have a couple options here. Keep resetting, right? So the first one was realize the truth. The second one was encourage yourself. The third one was speak to a coach. The fourth one was engage in continual learning. And then the fifth one was try a new plan. So that's reset, guys. And I would love to do this in a live setting with some people so I can really get involved. But man, if I tell you what, on my list of things that I want to be really good at, I want to be a master at resetting. I mean, I want to be a master where I don't even blink. Fail, boom, boom, boom. Next. What can I do? What can I do different? Oh, what can I tweak? What can I tweak? Just go to the next thing. So that's my goal. Thank you, Ann. I hope that you guys liked it. Resetting next week, we talked about survival versus success, and it's a little bit different than what you'll be thinking. Survival versus success is what we're talking about next week. And I know it's 7:30. I appreciate you guys coming on. Check out our website. Check us out on YouTube, Instagram. I don't think we're on something. I don't think we're on the little Twitter thing yet, but check us out. Really appreciate you guys coming on. Don't forget our little tagline: be intentional, focus on growth, and elevate now. Thank you.